What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports. We're here at the voice of college football. If you're an SEC football fan, please subscribe to our SEC channel. If you're a Florida football fan, please subscribe to our Florida channel. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. In this video, we're going to give you a projected record for Florida this upcoming 2022 college football season. Here were the projections from 2021. Of course, a disappointing year for Florida, finishing 6-6. Our projection was 9-3. Our prediction was also 9-3, so we went along with that projection. A lot of people thought that I was underrating this team, but yeah, they wound up going 6-6. So I was overrating this team, obviously, and it was a weird year for Florida with Dan Mullen and everything. This team was better than 6-6 if you just look at the actual team, the roster. The FBI predicted them to go about 8-4, so they were a little bit under that 9-3. They were closer, actually, than our projection. And Vegas had the over-under at 9, so you had to go over or under that. I thought 10 wins was going to be tough. Again, I had them at 9-3, but I did really think 8-4 was more likely than 10-2. So I think the better pick would have been to go under, and you would have, obviously, that would have been the better pick, and you would have got it right. But let's look ahead now to 2022. And again, these are not our official predictions. This is simply a projection based off of the schedule. This is the scale that we use. We'll have our 50-50 games in white. If it's less than 20% in red, if it's over 80% in green, 20 to 29% in orange, 30 to 39%. So a 20 to 29% game, 71-80% game, those are games where we feel like the spread's going to be double digits, a 10 to 14 point spread somewhere in there. And then your 30 to 39 and 61 to 70%. That's where we think the spread will be closer to a touchdown, 6-7 points, and then lower than that is going to be considered a 50-50 game. So the easy wins for Florida, the games that I think will be over 80%, you've got USF, Eastern Washington, and Vanderbilt. So these are all games where Florida should be favored by a lot. Now, obviously, Eastern Washington is closer to 100%, and Vanderbilt might be a little closer to 80%. It is a road game in the SEC, although not that tough of a place to play. But yeah, that's kind of a wide range there from 80% all the way to 100%. But I think all three of these games, you can put them in the green. And then in the blue, I'm going to go with Missouri. I know Florida lost to Missouri last year, but when you just look at the rosters, look at the talent, the fact that the game is at home for Florida, I think they're going to be double-digit favorites in this game. And I think we can safely put that one in the blue. Not a guaranteed win. They could lose, but it would be a pretty big surprise if the Gators were to lose that game. And then on the flip side, we go to the orange here, and that's Georgia. Georgia, a game where I think Florida is probably going to be a double-digit underdog. And that could change, obviously, as we get closer to that game during the season. But Georgia right now is just on a much higher level than Florida. We're talking about a top 5 team coming into this season versus a team that probably will not be ranked in Florida. So I think you can put that in the orange. All right, let's go now to the purple. Or actually, let's go to the yellow, 30 to 39%. So these are the games where I think Florida will be about a touchdown underdog. I've got Utah and I've got Texas A&M on the road. Texas A&M is close for me. They're kind of in between that orange and yellow, right? Close to 30%, I think, because it is on the road, and Texas A&M is expected to be a top 5 or top 10 team coming into this year. And then Utah, most people are putting them in the top 10 in the preseason as well. So even though the game is at home for Florida, when we talk about a top 10 team versus a team that won't be ranked, I think Utah will be favored in this game. It could be a 50-50 game, though. We'll see. As we get closer, really evaluate these teams more. Because of the home field advantage, I was very close to putting this one at 50-50, but I had to just go with the perception of these teams and the fact that Utah is expected to be a top 10 team. Again, I might predict Florida to win this game. Just because I have them as underdogs in this game doesn't mean I won't predict them to actually win that game. But just looking at the perception of these teams, that's why we do have that game in the yellow. And then the rest of the schedule for Florida, I think you got 5 50-50 games. Kentucky, Tennessee, LSU, South Carolina, Florida State. All of these games could really go either way. Kentucky has actually played Florida really tough as of late, of course. Tennessee's on the road. They're going to be a good team. LSU, a talented team. That one could go either way. South Carolina expected to be better. That could go either way. And then you got Florida State there at the end. It's a rivalry game. It's on the road. Florida State expected to be a decent team this year. So, yeah, I think you got 5 games that could go either way. And what happens when you average this all out? Well, the projection is 7-5. So we count the green games as wins. We average everything else out. And yes, you get a projected record of 7-5 for Florida. And I'll tell you, if you move Utah into the 50-50 range, like I mentioned earlier, that's really not going to change anything. The projection's still 7-5. So 7-5, I think, should be the goal for Florida, at least 7-5. If they go 6-6 again, it will be a disappointment. But if you can get to 7-5 or even 8-4, I think that's a pretty successful season for Florida. What do you guys think? What do you think the projection should be for this team? Give me your thoughts down in the comments below.